YouTube, what's going on? I am back with another video, and this is season 3, episode 2 of Married at First Sight. So they're gonna get right on into it. They are having their wedding night. They're saying goodbye to their wedding parties. They're getting in the vehicles. They're arriving at their venues. So let's start off with, I'm gonna go couple by couple. Let's start off with David and Ashley. David and Ashley, they get to their hotel room and he carries her over the threshold very weirdly, because he carries her straight up instead of like normally how a groom would carry her in. She, as they walk to the room, she has to take off her shoes. She's starting to become a little bit more comfortable with them. He goes to pop the champagne. This time she was smart. She decided, I'm gonna hide behind the door because last time you almost killed me with the champagne cork. So he pops it pops all over the room. They come out, they get champagne. Like I said, they're a lot more cozy with each other. It took them a while to get comfortable. At the end of the segment they were in bed, and they got to the diary cam, and he told her, every night I told the diary cam to my future wife good night, so I get to tell you good night in person. They put each other's phone numbers in each other's phones. They were pleasantly surprising at this first part of this episode, because she wasn't as standoffish and as stiff as she was in the wedding. She's starting to warm up. She said that she was when she talked to the expert, she was really focused on looks. So now she is more going to give this a try and give it her all. So that's David and Ashley. So Vanessa and Tre, he did not carry her over the threshold, but they went in the room. They were talking. His aunt was like, "Bye, Mr. and Mrs. Russell." He was like, "Don't burn her dress," because they had the sparklers. They got to their venue. Everything was nice. They were just kind of coincided with what we saw already, with them just getting along. They're smoochy. She asks him to unbutton the top of the dress. She goes in the restroom to take off the dress. At the end of the night, they are in the bed. They're comfortable. They're talking. He was like how he felt like everything's comfortable when people were coming up, and he was introducing her as his wife. He felt like they had a connection. They were talking about in their confessionals, were they going to consummate the marriage? She was like, no, but I don't know, because she kind of feeling it. They didn't say anything else with him. I do not believe. Neil and Samantha. It took them forever to get to where they were saying goodbye to everybody. They got in the limo. She was being goofy with the dress and everything. They got to the venue. He carried her over the threshold. He did it very lightly because I was scared he was going to hit her head. They go in. They don't really talk that much, in my opinion. They look at the bed. They, how in the honeymoon suites they put the little heart on the bed with the rose petals, and they were like, "Look at that!" She hurry up and jumped on top of that. Like, ain't none of that gonna be happening. So they laid there awkwardly for a few. Eventually they go, and she's in some shorts and a tank, and he comes out. Oh my God, I just had to laugh because he had on this big red onesie that said "Big Spoon." It was meant to be funny, and she did laugh, but she was, in her confession, was like, I can't believe he had this on, blah, blah, blah. But it was really meant to be funny. This white had "Big Spoon" on it. Eventually they did go in the bed. She was like, "Can you make sure you sit on your side, please?" And that was our first segment of this episode. So I'm very excited to see what is more to come. Okay, so it is the next morning, and we're going to start off with our couple, Neil and Samantha. So Neil and Samantha, they wake up. Well, Neil wakes up. Samantha's still in the bed. He's like, "Good morning." He lets the curtains open. The sun's coming in. She's like, "Close it. It's too bright." I'm like, "Girl, golly, come on, get it together." Anyway, so in the confessional, they asked her, did they consummate her marriage? She was like, no, I did not consummate my marriage. I want to become a tomorrow night or the night after that. Or the night. She is just, I'm like, oh, you signed up for this married at first sight. Lighten up. Anyway, so they send them the little card for their honeymoon, and they're going to St. Croix. That's all I got to say about Neil and Samantha, because Neil is really trying. He's really a sweetheart. Goofy, weird, but a sweetheart. And she is just, ugh. Anyway, so we're going to go to Vanessa and Tre. Vanessa and Tre, they wake up. They have their little good morning kiss. And I'm like, oh, morning breath. But hey, Tisha's on. They opens up some wedding gifts. They got wedding gifts and they got household gifts, and they were both like, I guess we're gonna need that. These are really married gifts. Pots and pans, spoons, forks, and knives. A little flask thing. I was like, okay, whatever. And then they get their card and they're going to Saint something. I can't remember what it is, but they are on a nice beachy. Those two couples got the nice beachy. So, David and Ashley, they wake up. They're like, "Oh, was it weird for you to sleep with me?" And he was like, "No." She was like, "Obviously, oddly enough, it wasn't. It was, it was okay. No, they didn't consummate their marriage. They're starting to talk a little bit more, get to know each other. They get their honeymoon, and they're going to Arizona. So why are they sending them to Arizona and everybody else get these little beachy, they go into the desert? But it is what it is, and I'm so excited to see what's going to happen on these honeymoons. Took a minute to look at the footage before this one and realized that I was zoomed in way too much. So guys, forgive me for the first two segments because I'm not gonna re-record them, but forgive me. But on to our show. So they are going to their family brunch. Okay, we're gonna start off with our couple, Neil and Samantha. Samantha's dad is like really gun ho about Neil. They feel like he's a great guy. He was like, I'm so happy that they chose her. Everything's gonna be okay. Their families are meshing, and Samantha's sitting there looking like, and she was like, my family is really embracing him. My dad really likes him, but I don't know. Hopefully they get to St. Croix and they have a good time. I don't foresee that happening, but I'm trying to stay optimistic. So then we move on to David and Ashley. Their families feel like, our families, her mom even said, I feel like the experts didn't just match you two, they matched our families. Ashley said she's happy that both of them are going in it with both feet in. They're really trying to make it work. Neil's mom's really happy. Ashley's mom's really happy. The families are getting along. They're smiling. They're laughing. I like this family. Then we get on to our happy couple, which is Vanessa and Tre. Vanessa and Tre, their family is just like way all in. Like, this has been a marriage that has been planned for years and years and years. Grandma inviting Vanessa family to the family reunion. It is just like, and you start to kind of see the overwhelming look on Tre's face because he's like, hold on, Grandma, hold on, the family reunion. This is only 6 weeks, right? Hopefully it's more, but hold on, sleigh roll. That's the look he kind of gave Grandma. But everybody is so excited that these two people have been matched up, and that they really seem like happy. They're holding hands at the table now. On the fashion sense, Vanessa, you need to throw that pink little shirt that you have on at that brunch away. That stuff was so ugly and so grandma. But I just had to let you know, Vanessa, that shirt need to go in the trash. All right, let's go see what's happening next. Everybody is gearing up to go on the honeymoon, and they're packing their clothes. They're having these conversations. So we're going to start with our lovely couple first, which is Tre and Vanessa. They are packing up. They are excited about what's going to happen. I think that's it because I don't think they really focus on them that much this segment. So then we move to our middle couple, which is Ashley and David. David's excited because he's like, when I travel for work, I don't have anybody to travel with. She's like, well, now you do. And they're packing off and they're getting ready to go. This is a quick one because this is just what stuck in my mind and it was so disappointing. So they're packing and Samantha's in her confessional is talking about how she wasn't going to consummate her marriage with Neil on her honeymoon, but she respects him enough to let him know. So as they're getting ready to pack, she goes and she tells him that she's not attracted to him. Of course, that's when we went to commercial. But it just the look on his face, the look on my face was like, girl, really? Okay, you supposed to be trying to, you just really trying to ruin this experiment. And she is really getting on my last nerve because she's not embracing the experiment. You signed up for an experiment, embrace the experiment. Alright guys, so the honeymoon is fully underway. We're gonna start off with our middle couple, which is David and Ashley, and they have gotten to their location. They are having a good time. They're getting more comfortable, having more conversations. They go to ride some bikes, and they're getting to know each other, and they're racing on the bikes. They're really, really, their segment was really, really cute. Our other couple, they started back off where they were having this conversation. So basically, before they got to get to their honeymoon, they had to have this really serious conversation because Sam wants to tell Neil that she's not attracted to him. Then she tries to back it up and says, oh, my dad really, really likes you, and we were matched for a reason, so blah, blah, blah. And Neil is like the pessimist of it. He's like, well, it did hurt my feelings that she said I wasn't attractive, but, we were matched for a reason, and I'm very understanding and very caring. He took the political way out of it, basically, and it is what it is. So they get to St. Croix, and everything's beautiful. They're looking out on their view, and then then Sam was like, oh, well, I'm ready to go to the beach. How about you? And he's like, sure. They worried me. They really, really worried me. So then we went to our happy couple, which is Tre and Vanessa, and they are standing out watching on the beach. They went to St. John, and watching this bird attack, I guess it's food or whatever. And then they were sitting on the beach and they were like having conversations. And she said that she had the feeling that he used to be a playboy, and he was like, I wouldn't say it like that, but I've dated. And her mood instantly changed. Now there's one thing I can say about us women is that when we have suspicion about something and it turns out to be true, even if this person has changed, we get really, really judgy. So she got really, really judgy, and now she's like, well, now I'm doubting if he's ready for marriage. But 2 days ago, y'all was just lovey-dovey, kissy, huggy until you found out this one tidbit of information. Okay, you guys are young. They're like 26, 27, 29 in that area. Okay, so you have to get that out of your system before you can go into marriage. So he's saying that he's gotten it out of the system, and she needs to be able to trust that he's got that out of his system. So when they ended, she was looking really unhappy. Alright, so they are at the where they're starting to do activities and go to dinner and things like that. They really didn't focus that much on Tre and Vanessa. The Neil and Samantha, they went snorkeling, something that Neil really wanted to do. Samantha wasn't so much keen to it because she was worried about the sharks. So they got her like the little floaty, and she pretty much stayed on top of the water. Neil explored. Now, one thing that Samantha did say that I do agree with, that Neil knew she was uncomfortable, and he was just kind of like floating around, seeing what's going on, whatever. He never once came back to check up on her and say, hey, are you okay? How are things going? I know this is not your cup of tea. Are you having fun? He just did his own little thing. So that's something that Neil is going to have to work on. Of course, she used it as ammunition, in my opinion, because she was like, he should have did all these things, blah blah blah. At least I can go to bed saying that I tried, but you're really not trying. Anyway, yeah, they gonna be the anyway. Moving on to David and Ashley. David and Ashley, they got to go to dinner. And he was asking her how she felt about being married, and she was like, "It's going okay. This is not a traditional honeymoon because I don't feel that touchy, lovey, whatever. But I do feel like I'm getting to know you." And she's getting relaxed. They had ordered wine. He got red, she got white. The lady brings him the stuff, and then he's like, "What is this?" And she was like, "It's soup. It's like cold soup. I think it's called gazpacho, but if anybody knows, y'all let me know. They didn't really say on here." So he was like, "Oh," he was like, "Well, where's the spoon?" And she was like, "Oh, you take it as you drink it. It's like a shot." And Ashley was like, "If you can take a shot of alcohol, you can take a shot of soup." So he really took it like a shot. It's really, really thick. The look on his face was hilarious. And he was like, "Oh, where's my wine?" And she was like, she was just kind of like taken back. And she was like, "Well, what if I make it for you? You guys say it's nasty." And he was like, "No, I wouldn't do that." And she was like, "Are you lying to me?" And he was like, "I just want to say it in front of Rosa. I think you'll make it better." But she might have said this before, but she's a vegetarian. I don't think that he's a vegetarian. So they're going to have a little tit for tat on that vegetarian thing. Well, this episode really took you through the ringer emotionally. So much stuff just happened, and I'm having a hard time recapping it for you guys. Tre and Vanessa, they were at dinner, and Vanessa is still reaming over the fact that Tre, had dating life. Us as some of us females, you always want to. I'm looking for somebody that wants to get married. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. Blah 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 blah. This, and this. And some guys say, I just want to date. I just want to have fun. I just want to be me. Tre was one of those guys, but when he got this opportunity, he was like, oh, he seems to be really into it. But since that wasn't his mindset, Vanessa's starting to like taper off from him because she feels like maybe he did this as a joke, or maybe he's not as serious as this as she is, which I think he is. Excuse me, y'all. Which I think he is. I just think that, it just kind of hit him all of a sudden, all at once. I mean, this is not a conventional way to get married for anybody in the least. So, of course, I expect her to have some kind of guard up, but I didn't expect her to put that wall up like bam when she found out he was a player, in her opinion. David and Ashley, I don't really have too much to say about them. Samantha and Neil. Samantha is really still working my nerves. They go back from having dinner. She wants to create a barrier in the bed. To work off her nervous entry, she insinuates a pillow fight. Neil thinks it's all nice and cute, but I think it was not. But this season is going to be interesting from all the couples and all their point of views, because they are having their highs and lows already, and we're just into episode 2. So stay tuned for next week's update on next week's. Let's stay tuned for next week's review on Married at First Sight season 3.